Hello guys, as you've realised, I've got like a really active period of making videos, but just itching to create the second part to this video. So yeah, check out the most recent video, which was the flat earth video, which I debunked about 10 of the proofs that the earth is flat. Of course I'm going to keep continuing that over the course of me making some more videos, but I want to stick to this, and then I'm going to possibly make a video on some possibly philosophical stuff and morals, some stuff to do with religion mostly. So let's begin back where we started.
But I don't think that when they don't express themselves, it's because they're all bashful and nervous and they don't know what to say. I think that they know what social media is really like. I think the facts are pretty plain to see.
View of women.
Some girls and some men are going to be bashful and nervous either way. Men don't simply just cower in the corner, just like women don't tend to just generally cower in the corner because of social media. Actually, they both use them in a wide variety of cases. A lot of the time, you'll see that the teachers here obviously have some opinions much like yours, where they believe that people who aren't, they believe that don't achieve the same things as other ones should be able to achieve the same things, but if it's not in their nature. But in this case, it's the same for some women and some men. They're going to be bashful and nervous about social media. Women don't just go on social media and they don't just say, "Oh, I don't want to go on social media because I'm going to get offended because someone photoshopped me onto an unattractive body." Nothing like that.
And I think that if we want young people to speak out and to feel comfortable expressing themselves, then what we need to do is make the internet a place where they can do so. That means
they can already do so. Obviously, whenever you say something, of course you're going to have people disagreeing with you. Much like my channel, I expect possibly in the near future I'm going to have a lot of people who disagree with me. However, that's not stopping me from being a young person posting on the internet. I'm posting my personal opinions. These are mine, and I'm just going based on what the majority, not the majority of like groups, but like the majority of people. So egalitarian, obviously, like I put name these videos as, it's for everyone. So you can speak up on the internet anyway. If you're able to change the minds of a few, great. If you're able to, let people see what you believe in, that's great. But just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're forcefully bashful or nervous.
bringing in sensible laws.
Oh, and didn't really have to say this, but she's about to go into about laws and stuff. It's called free speech. I think I've said this in the last video, that you can't just censor the internet because you don't like the fact that someone disagrees with you.
And training the police to deal with these kind of things.
Okay, so you're claiming here that the police should have the authority to pretty much arrest people for disagreeing with you. Now, I know in some cases there is death threats, but like I said in the last video, unless you have some sort of evidence proving that they have the audacity and they have the literal possibility of killing you, then this is no incident for the police. You're wasting their time.
And there's a sort of echo in the background.
I'm going to come to you in a minute, and Connie, I'm going to come to you for a nice little bit in a minute.
We need the
Very
police
quickly.
to be trained how to deal with this. We need straightforward training on when to act and when not to act.
Okay, so you're simply just against freedom of speech. I'm sorry. You claim to be. I'm not saying you claim to be, but most people who claim to be feminists are leftists and libertarians. You don't seem very libertarian to me. You seem very authoritarian, where you like as soon as somebody disagrees with you or something that you just don't like. Most things that are called hate speech are generally just things that people are disagreeing with you and you don't like it. This is nothing. This is not a police matter, unless there's literal cyber stalking, which is taken by the police as a serious thing, not people disagreeing with you.
To make sure that the worst things, the rape and the death threats, the horrific harassment and abuse is dealt with. And I think that when we see a few high-profile individuals, perhaps including some in this studio, locked up, it'll be time for other people to back off.
Okay,
and I very much look forward to that day.
All right, Milo, I'll come.
Okay, so you're threatening people for disagreeing with you. So you're saying some people in the room that you disagree with, if you get them locked up, they should back off because they disagree with you. Now, this is honestly, in my opinion, this is disgusting, and it's supposed to be a free marketplace of ideas. I think that's what we should have. Unless there's somebody who's actually going to kill you, it's not a matter to be taken in this way. And I don't think Milo Yiannopoulos or anyone else in the studio has said I will kill you because you have feminist values.
Come to you, Connie. I'm going to come to you in just a second. Okay, that's all right. And we'll have a. Yeah, you can. You were going to come back in.
Yeah.
No, over here.
Someone has to reveal how very similar these two arguments are, because what actually both Milo and Kate are saying is that people can be made to feel victimised and very nervous and scared of the internet, whether that be men or women. But actually, I want to put, and it's both kind of very pathetic view of how people.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said in the last video. This woman is probably one of the only people in the studio that has some sort of common sense. Milo Yiannopoulos has some claims to sensible values, but he really most time just tries to do a complete anti, which isn't the way to go, I think.
Deal with insults and words, because really most people, especially on Twitter,
I'm talking about
when they receive this kind of
about rape and death.
Rape and death threats are bad, but when they receive this kind of rubbish on Twitter, they block or they ignore. And I really want to pick up.
Yes, this is exactly what I said. Yeah. And there's someone in the studio. I have said this before, but I went in a bit more detail, so hoping that that kind of cleared up what this person said. If you was a bit confused about what she said before, if you've watched the video before.
Up on this idea that women,
please, Kate, let us.
It's very telling. That's kind of, this is what happens. Middle class women decide that they want to take on the plight of women, and that women are victimised. Women can't handle the internet. It's absolutely ridiculous and disgusting and sexist and patronising to say that women can't handle the internet.
Now these words are like buzzwords, really. I do agree with what she's saying, especially about victimising a whole group based on your own opinion. But using the words sexism and patronising, it doesn't really work, and it's like, I know what she's trying to say here, but it's just obviously the buzzwords have been taken, way out of context by these feminists or anti-feminists taking other words out of context. So yeah.
The internet should never be a safe space. The internet women should be able to experience everything about public life. We fought for that throughout history, and here's somebody who wants to shut us away from it.
Okay, well listen, here's the plan. I'm going to go from Connie to Connie. We're going to hear Connie's story, and I'm going to get Milo to respond, and then Kate, we'll get another.
Please know more about these egomaniacs.
No more about egomaniacs as well. And any audience who want to say something? Okay, that's ideally how it's going to be structured. All right, Connie. We heard reference to him and the whole situation, the saga there from Milo Yiannopoulos. Professor Tim Hunt. He made a really not very funny off-taste joke, and he did it in a lecture hall? It was a room full of in South Korea. Some would say it wasn't hugely offensive, got worldwide attention. Ultimately, nothing to do with you, but he lost his job. But you had drawn people's attention to it. But then the reaction to your reaction was just extraordinary. What have you gone through?
So this has been really dreadful, and it's kind of exhibited here by the way Milo felt he could just shout abuse across the studio at me.
What the hell? Okay, so saying you're a liar is apparently abuse now. So if you're taking something way out of context, like a silly little joke made by a guy called Tim Hunt, say in a lecture theatre, does it really matter? You're taking these ideas way too seriously. To the fact that you got this guy fired because he made a little joke, and you're like, oh, let's just post it on social media, get everyone's attention to it, because I'm such a nice person. You claim to have like the higher morals, but this isn't higher morals, is it? Trying to get people in trouble for a little joke. Like, say for example, I made a joke about, I don't know, genitals. Not really in context here, but yeah, if I made it, just like there's actually a thing that happened before where these men made a little joke about big dongles, which were just like really cheesy sort of low-level jokes about their genitals, and really quite in their own private space, as you'd put it, private spaces for you. That this woman in front of them, feminist, because not all women are like this, most women aren't. And some men are actually these feminists for some reason. Maybe they hate themselves, I don't know. Anyway, so she said about them that it's so annoying thinking about this, is because it's a little joke about something that she had nothing to be involved with. And she pretty much got them both fired, or got one of them fired, and then one of them got a really big thing about it, because they made a little joke between them. Now, this is exactly what you're doing, and then you're just going with shouting abuse across the room to me. Stating facts is an abuse.
And I think what's really interesting about this is that it's not about how people use the Twitter. It's about people trying.
The Twitter.
Trying to maintain a political status quo. So a lot of what goes on, there are people in America like Rush Limbaugh who have a very right-wing ideology, and that means they don't want to hear from women, they don't want.
Okay, so apparently now if you're an authoritarian right-wing, you now don't listen to women. Do you know there's right-wing women, right? Do you realise that? Not all women are feminists. Actually, most women aren't feminists. And feminists have kind of blown up this idea of libertarian and left to become this sort of evil monarchy that no one wants to go near. And most people are right for this. They really want a lot of feminist values. They want them shut out. Just like you want them shut out for their freedom of speech. They listen to women as women really, they need them for this case, because you don't even listen to men. That's the problem here. They have to use women, and women have to stand up in this case in order to get it through to you and people like you, because you don't listen to men, because you don't see their opinions as the same, or you don't see people who would disagree with your opinions as the same. You hold your opinion to this massive high status that no one can break down or criticise.
To hear from people of other colours. They don't want to hear any other contrasting conservative view.
Okay, so now if you're a conservative or right wing, you're automatically a white male. I hear this a lot of the time. I'm not specifically stating that this is what she's actually saying, but she's saying that first they're against women, so that takes women out the picture. There's only men, and you're saying people of other colours. There's a lot of people who agree with Milo Yiannopoulos, and Milo Yiannopoulos isn't especially a right-winger. He's actually pretty left-wing, considering his values for gay people. Obviously, gay people are allowed in the right-wing field, but the idea is a bit different about that. But anyway, one of the most authoritarian people that are out there, so one of the most popular ones, is a guy called Ben Shapiro. Now, he is a Jew. So, firstly, you're saying contrasting views to conservative. That's usually something contrasting to Christian, or a lot of the time atheist. But atheists don't simply apply to left because they're against Christian white males. He's a Jew, so according to you, he's not allowed to be in a right wing because he's a Jew, or he's not allowed to be a right wing because he's not white. It's just not true.
And these people are very loud, and these people are very determined to shut a lot of people up.
Just like you. I know this obviously sounds really hypocritical that the woman, the so-called comedian feminist that's next to her, not this woman, but the one that's actually next to her, says that she wants laws on freedom of speech, which she has stated in social media. And just like you want people shut down off their jobs because they made a little joke. Now, I'm pretty sure that's freedom of speech, and you're telling them to shut up. So, them rebutting that at you, but they're not, because they advocate for these amendments, especially the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
So, I report something, I'm a journalist, I can report things, and in the end...
Yes, you can report things, and people can criticise you on your views.
In order to protect some stupid comment...
It's not necessarily a stupid comment if they disagree with you. Never mind. I was going to say something.
Then I have to be discredited. I don't have to be discredited. I did not.
No, you don't have to be credited either. Say if I made an outlandish claim about something to do with that men are superior to women in everything. Now, you can't automatically credit me because there's no evidence backing this up, and you can obviously discredit me for this because I'm saying a completely outlandish claim, and it's pretty obviously sexist.
Nothing wrong. I'm not a liar. I don't have.
Okay, so you are now the standard, the status quo for what you are. So if you lie about something, I'm not lying. You just say you're not a liar and it's true. I mean, come on. The same for religions. I don't necessarily disagree with all like religion's values and religion's ideas, but most of the time they hand themselves to the high authority of what's true, and that's not necessarily the case all the time.
Have to even defend myself as a journalist. I can put a story out there.
You have to defend yourself if you make a claim. If you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof, and people have the right to question you for that. Like any Christian, any Jew, any Muslim, if they make a positive claim to the existence of God, they have the burden of proof for proving that He exists. Or if I positively claim that God doesn't exist, I have the burden of proof for finding out why God doesn't exist.
What happened to you? What kind of abuse did you have online through emails?
I didn't just have abuse online. I had lots of letters sent to my office that were very racist. People would phone me up and scream really racist things.
Okay, this sounds really horrible, but you're making the claim here that all these racist things account for the entire right-wing society, or they account for an entire Milo Yiannopoulos' fan base, or anybody else that disagrees with you. It's simply either they're just trolls or they're real racists, but that doesn't mean everybody of the same group is a racist.
They would send me pictures of monkeys hanging in trees.
That's not particularly... Wait there. Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. I can't cut it out at the moment, obviously, because I don't have the, content, like, editing and stuff, so, yeah, I think we're gonna watch or listen to one more of the points, and then we're gonna finish the video off there.
With saying go back to your hunt your hut, go back to your jungle.
A lot of those they're obviously racist, but a lot of the time they're trolls and they're obviously trying to provoke you into saying something bad about a specific group, because that's the idea of a provocateur.
You're not welcome here. It's like we are back 50 years in the race.
We're not back 50 years because some people are racist or some people are trolling you for being, they're having the opinions you are. People pretending to be racist or people who are racist. Doesn't mean you don't have all the same rights as everybody else. Now, there's actually a thing called affirmative action, which means that people of colour, I don't know if it's in the UK, but in America, they're allowed into universities and colleges even if they get a lower score, just because they want to equal out how races and cultures or certain, genders are performing. But it's based on the people in there. It is not based on the fact that white males or white people are just flushing them out of the education system.
Racial economy of this country. People are really crude.
Okay, so a few people send you some nasty comments, obviously racist or are trolling the idea of racism means the entire economy is racist. I think you can see the outlandish idea here. And I think I'm going to end the video off here because I've got some things to do once again. But I'll keep recording because these are really fun for me to make and I hope you guys enjoy these videos. So I'll see you in the next one.